Okay, today's target is Lone Mountain, and this is off of 215 between Centennial Hills and Summerlin. And so as you're roaring along 215, you probably see this mountain standing all on its own, reason they call it Lone Mountain, I guess. And if you look closely, you can see little specks of people up at the top of the mountain. And yeah, it's just a nice little hike. This is Lone Mountain Discovery Park, by the way, located on Jensen Road near Cheyenne Road. So I have not been to Lone Mountain before, so we are going to discover the trails to Lone Mountain. Now it looks like there's a trail over in this direction. Maybe it goes around the base of the mountain then up. We don't know, but we're just going to explore around till we find the way up and back down to this location. So here we go. This trailhead just looks like it circles the base of Lone Mountain. So we're going to circle the base at first. We're going to look for routes up. Now I understand that there are some routes that are very steep. I'm not going to do those today. Spent a quarter of the month of February in the hospital, a couple surgeries. So this is really a surgery recovery day, second Saturday in March. And perfect time to play around on Lone Mountain because it's still cool weather, and during the summer you get up to 120 degrees here. So this is definitely a late fall, early spring experience, and you can see people along the trail. So and we are right in a residential area. So that's one of the neat things about Lone Mountain, is that, you know, in Las Vegas, you can be right in the city and have this experience of this mountain that has an incredible view of Las Vegas and the whole area because it stands alone. And we're going to find a way up there. Maybe we'll try a number of ways before we get to the top. So I imagine one could actually just go right up the side of this, but looks a bit steep on this side. So let's travel around till we find a way up. Here's a look at the east side of Lone Mountain. And this looks like a really challenging climb on this side. So we'll continue around the mountain. A little more on the east side of the mountain. You see a few trails here that seem to go up, and this looks like a doable route right up this way and right up like that, up to the top. We're going to continue scoping out the base of the mountain for now. Curiously, there's a wide main trail and then a more narrow trail that skirts the mountain. I think I'm going to go up to the narrow trail and just see what that's like. And again, this would be a good approach. A little challenging. On the more narrow trail, you can see there's a little up and down here. It's more like a mountain trail. There, looking around, you see the main trail below. Oh, by the way, There's a great shot of Gas Peak. And then to the left of Gas Peak is the Sheep Range. And we'll see more as we circle Lone Mountain and summit. Multi-use happening here. There's an equestrian use area right here. And here, by the way, is a shot of Mount Wilson, that square top Rocky Mountain, the other side of Red Rock Park. So continuing along this little trail. And then here's what Lone Mountain looks like from here. Few different options for summiting Lone Mountain. Imagine you can climb around on here and play for an entire day if you want. And you're right in the residential area, Las Vegas. Well, these two trails continue around Lone Mountain. There is the wider trail that people are jogging and walking. And then there's this little narrow trail. So kind of a discovery experience. And then we see up above, there's some people that appear to be heading upward. Let's see if we can nail their location there. There we go. So that must be a route to the summit. Who knows? There's a little split off route that goes upward. And again, a couple people heading up. Looks like they're going to be doing a little climbing. The route upward, it actually connects with that same route where we saw the people earlier. Look, there's a little speck of a person up there. This trail continues to wind around the mountain. I'm wondering if it winds all the way around, because if there is if the trail upward is on this side, I'm going to see if there's a trail on the other side, because the lighting is all wrong here. I'll be going straight into the sun. So exploration number one here today is just to see if we can circle the whole mountain on this little trail. And you can see the main trail, which is more a jogging path, hiking path, wide, really nice. And then here's a parking area on this side of the mountain. We're on the west side now, and we're looking toward Lone Mountain Road over there. So we're gonna just check this out. And there's the Sheep Range, by the way. This is the corner of the sheep range. So we're going to head around the whole base of this mountain just to see where the routes are that go up. And I think there should be one on this side, and there should be one on the east side. We'll check it out. Looking straight into the sun, looks like this is a potential route up, but once again, it's for those who are wanting to climb over rocks, do maybe class 2 to 3 climbing. I'm going to continue around the base and see what other routes we have that are heading up the mountain. And then, yeah, you're looking down the Lone Mountain Road area. And I think that actually this is probably the Lone Mountain Road exit off of 215. And there you see 215 where the cars are buzzing by. And then we're looking toward the La Madre Mountains Wilderness in this direction. I think we found a main trail on this side of the mountain. Once again, I'm not going to take this because it's heading straight into the sun. But this does look like the main trail on this west side of the mountain. But we'll continue around, circling the mountain on this little trail here, and just see what other options there are for summiting Lone Mountain. And if we have to come back here and go up and do an out and back to the summit, we'll do that. And here's the view of the area. You can see a little trail I've been skirting the mountain on, and then there is that wider trail below that continues along. You can't see it really well here, but you can actually see people walking the trail. That's a very nice wide trail, like a railroad bed. Let's continue circling around, see what other options there are for summiting this mountain. And there's the sun just topping Lone Mountain, and we are definitely on the west side, sun on the east, maybe northwest. So continuing along this little trail here, let's see if it goes all the way around. Now you can, once again, we can see Gas Peak, and then to the left of Gas Peak, the sheep range, and the busy road down there is 215. And then toward the La Madre Mountains, I believe up here may actually be La Madre Mountain. El Padre Mountain to the left, we don't know. And then Damsel Peak is going to be in the area up this way. So looks like I need to connect with the larger trail for a little while. And I'm thinking that circles the whole mountain. I'm hoping that there is a summit approach on the other side of the mountain so I can have the sun behind me as I begin to summit. Yes, I'm thinking this wide trail may circle the entire mountain. Kind of a neat little workout trail. As we're around the mountain now, there's a view of Las Vegas, but it's pretty much hazed out in the sunrise. And then over in this direction, Frenchman Mountain. Looks like the camel humps. Lake Mead's on the other side of that. And then over this way, you have the Muddy Mountains. Okay, breaking off again to the small trail, and the large wide trail is below us. some additional landmarks. As I mentioned, Frenchman Mountain, the Camel Hump Mountain, and then the Muddy Mountains. Valley of Fire Park would be to the left of those mountains. Lake Mead to the right of the Muddy Mountains. And then panning around here, Gas Peak, which is right here. And then a little to the left is the Sheep Range. And by the way, Gas Peak and the Sheep Range are part of the Desert National Wildlife Refuge, the largest wildlife refuge in the lower 48 states. Okay, and there's another little park down below us. But we're going to continue circling around and see if there's another route up to the summit on this side that'll have the sun at my back. If not, I'll retrace my way. Not that far. Here it looks like one could potentially just work one's way up to this ridge and then connect with that summit route we saw on the other side, the west side of the mountain, northwest. And you can see some climbers summiting the mountain. I think they're on the main route that we saw from the other side of the mountain. But for now, I'm continuing to skirt the base of this mountain. I think one could actually, as you can see, the wide trail continues all the way around. One could actually turn this into laps. I think that the wide trail is probably, I don't know, a little over 2 miles for one lap. And if you want a little more of a rugged experience, you could take this little narrow trail around the base of the mountain, which is also interesting. Give you more of a mountain trail running conditioning experience, strengthen your ankles. And then of course there are a number of ways up the mountain here. And I think were I not in surgery recovery, there are some interesting potential climbs right in this little area. And the neat thing about this is it's so close to the Las Vegas metropolitan area. In fact, it's in the midst of the Las Vegas metropolitan area. You can get here in about a half hour from most locations in Las Vegas. And so it makes for an experience of being in the wilderness, and you can see the wilderness all around as the city gets smaller as you ascend the mountain. So once again, looking for a route up to the summit on the other side, and I think that we're looking around the corner there to the Discovery Park where we began, and we'll see if there's a route up there. If not, I'll retrace my way to this main route and do an out and back from this direction up here. This does look like a route to the summit where one could head up, as the person with the dog is doing so right here ahead of me, and wind your way up to the ridge up there and then on over along the ridge to the summit. So if I don't find another approach, I may actually try this one and then go to the summit and then head back down the backside, that other route that we saw that headed up to the summit, which is, I think, the main route. So, hey, we'll find out. But by the time we're done, you're going to know the whole base of Lone Mountain and different routes to the summit. And by the way, you can see, if you look carefully, a couple specks of people on and around the summit. A little more challenging approach right up this gully, and you can see a couple people up in this area. There's a lot of glare on my screen, so I'm not sure I can see them, but the ridge on top seems to be a good thoroughfare. So yeah, there's a little bit of class 3 scrambling up this gully and then on up to the top. Okay, there's this Discovery Park where we began. I believe it is. I don't see the beast down there. This may be another little park. And looking straight ahead at Gas Peak. And the sheep range. And then just a look at this side of the mountain. Yeah, I don't think that you're going to head up this direction unless you're into class 3 and 4 climbing. So we'll go a little further just to make sure this is indeed the Discovery Park where we began, and then retrace our way. Looks like there's an interesting approach we saw just a moment ago on the other side of the mountain, and we could summit and then head down the main approach. So we'll do that. I just want to verify this is indeed where I left my car, meaning that we've made a complete circuit. If you were running this, you'd probably be able to do it, and even at a slow jog, you'd be able to do it in about, I don't know, half hour. Running it quickly, you get it down to 20 minutes, 15 minutes. This is indeed the Discovery Park, and straight ahead there is the beast. So yeah, we made a complete circuit of the mountain, and it looks like, yes, you do have this wide trail that goes all the way around. Most people walk on. And then if you want something just a little more rugged to strengthen your ankles for trail running, there's this narrow trail, and it goes all the way around. I only had to descend to the wide trail once, really, just for about 20 feet. So, okay. Let's head back around. What I'm going to do is take that that steeper ascent to the summit on the other side of the mountain, and head up to the summit, and then head down the main summit route. So those, I think that it turns out that there are 2 routes to the summit that do not require class 3 climbing, anything above class 2. And you can make a circuit of those routes, which I'm going to do. Here we go. Now that I've circled the mountain, I have a plan of action. Here's the 360. Sheep Range and Gas Peak. Muddy Mountains. Frenchman Mountain. You can even see Mount Wilson, that little pointy mountain. And that's in Arizona. There's a page for that. Arizona Mount Wilson on Las Vegas area trails. And there's also pages for the Muddy Mountains, Gas Peak, the Sheep Range. But what we're going to do here is we're going to head up this direction, up and up, and then find a way to reach that ridge up there where we will meet with the main trail, take a left, head over to the summit, and then head down the main trail. So we'll retrace our way, head down the main trail, come down the other side of the mountain, and then circle the mountain counterclockwise. We circled it clockwise for our first circuit. So it'll be, when we're done, we'll have 2 circuits of Lone Mountain plus the 2 approaches to the summit. So let's just see what things look like up in this area. Here we go. Okay, you can see we're gaining some altitude here. Here's the, I can't do a whole 360 because we're faced with a pretty steep incline behind me, but you can see the Sheep Range, Gas Peak, Muddy Mountains, Frenchman Mountain, and then Mount Wilson in Arizona. And there's the Las Vegas Strip. And what we're doing is we're finding a way, the path of least resistance up to this ridge, and then we're going to head along the top of the ridge up to the summit. So let's just see what things look like as we gain more altitude here. Okay, about halfway up, we're looking down on the trails straight across to Frenchman Mountain, Muddy Mountains. There's the trails again below us, Las Vegas. And we're looking toward the Centennial Hills area. There's Gas Peak, and you can see Centennial Hills Hospital right in this area. And then you can see some of Fossil Ridge. Well, no, that's actually Castle Rock between Gas Peak and the Sheep Range. So no, you can't see much of Fossil Ridge. You can sort of see parts of it. And then, looking up, here's the route we're going to go. And you see we are closing in on that high ridge up there. So we're hoping there's going to be a way through. And here you can see the upper ridge and the summit, along with some hikers up there. So all we have to do is get up on this ridge above us, and we'll see if there is a way that is not going to require hanging on the edge of a cliff. Not up to that at this time, but we'll see. Usually there is a way. Truly amazing how just a little bit of uphill climbing can make you seem like you're on top of the world here. And I've been weaving my way around this these rocky drop-offs, and so far looks like it's going pretty good. There is the Lone Mountain Discovery Park, and you can see the Las Vegas Strip in the haze up here. And then, it's looking like there are some ways up to the top of this ridge. we're not too far from the summit of the ridge. And we'll see if we can connect with the main trail as we reach the summit. So let's just see where this leads. Below us is the main trail. We are on that ridge now. So we're looking down at people on that trail. And so let's see if there is a way to get over to that trail from here, over this little hump here, straight ahead. Maybe there's a way. If I can get to the main trail, then we've got the summit. Otherwise, I've got to head back down, which would be just weaving around back down the way I came up, and getting back to the trail, circling around and going up the main trail. So we'll see if it is possible. But yeah, topping this ridge, the view definitely becomes much more dramatic. There's Highway 215 below, and there are, boy, La Madre Mountains wilderness up in this area. So how amazing. And then one can see Potosi Mountain in the distance. By the way, all the reference points that I have pointed out, I have pages on LasVegasAreaTrails.com. So now the challenge is, can we get over to the main trail? Let's find out. Good news, looks like this ridge should do it and get us over to the main trail, and then we head on up to the summit. There's the main trail. So here we go. All right, we've connected with the main trail. There's a little bench, and here's the main trail on up to the summit. So we'll head up to the summit on that main trail, and then head down the main trail to the other side of the mountain, and then circle around to the left and end up at Discovery Park. Okay, let's go. Heading up the main trail now toward the summit. You see, this is the road, definitely well traveled by all ages, which is kind of cool. Here's the victory lap to the summit. A lot of little rabbit trails up here when you get close to the summit, but as long as you head up, you pretty well can pick a route. They all lead to the same place, and most of them, at least the well-traveled ones, don't go over the edge of something. Here's something from this perspective. The tip of Mount Charleston, snow-covered. That was a little unexpected. You can see Highway 215 below, and a number of little option routes. This is the main one, but it looks like there is another one over this way. So who knows? We'll just look around and decide what to do. On the solid rock now, and it's got really good traction, much better than the gravel route next to it that looks like a path. And let's just see what we have on the main trail here. And this is where, if you're driving along 215, you look up here and you see little specks up here that look like ants. Here's another landmark, Mount Wilson in the Rainbow Mountains. And you can see the tip of Rainbow Mountain to the right, and then also, yeah, I don't think you can see, I think North Peak is up there. Not sure. On the summit, let's do a quick 360. Okay, we'll point out landmarks.
And it's like, but also
Sheep range.
messed up at Disney World. That'd be a good story. People would be like,
Gas Peak.
yeah, exactly. You gotta do it like 7 drinks and 7 checkpoints. Well, then you can eat too. So you eat at the World. They don't see it the same.
Muddy Mountains. Frenchman Mountain. In the distance, a sharp pointy peak would be Mount Wilson in Arizona. Now we're panning around. You can see the strip below us. And looking down on Summerlin. Over to Potosi Mountain. The Rainbow Mountains, you can see Mount Wilson. The Square Top Mountain. Rainbow Mountain is the pointy mountain to the right of Mount Wilson. La Madre Mountains Wilderness. Snow-covered tip of Mount Charleston. And there I believe that's actually La Madre Mountain, either that or over here. Not entirely sure from this perspective, but I do think maybe over here would be La Madre Mountain. But I don't know. Could be this one too. Centennial Hills. And back to the sheep range. You're back at the base of the mountain, and there's the main trail we saw earlier, and I just came down that trail. Now I'm just going to circle around this side and end up back at Discovery Park. Here we go.